yesterday, but it's an old day now.
They're really cool. What's your name?
I love those ears.
What a beautiful name. That's my mommy's name. Well, nice to see. How old are you? 17? 6. Oh my God! And by the way, I like kids better than people. I wish I could stay and watch Wonka with you, but I'm not going to get to do that.
Well, this past week, as Americans gathered around their own kitchen tables for Thanksgiving dinner, that was our goal, to give them a little more breathing room. And together we made progress.
No, you haven't.
From turkey to air travel to tank of gas, costs went down.
Sure they did.
All right, let's break it down according to the economy is improving, and President Biden says the economy is improving, that a majority of Americans outside of this building are not buying it.
So here's the thing. When we walked into this administration,
Tell us,
the
Springhead.
economy was on a tailspin.
Really?
That's the fact. Because of the last administration, because of the Trump administration, because of how they dealt with COVID and the pandemic, because they didn't have a comprehensive plan.
Really?
Okay, it was also during the middle of COVID, but let's add one other point. Donald Trump didn't add $2 trillion more last year alone to the debt that we're putting on our kids and grandkids.
You could say even this harder than getting a ticket to the Renaissance tour or Britney's tour. She's down in, it's kind of warm in Brazil right now. Leading tech companies like Anthropic.
What?
And I'm going to mispronounce. I'm not going to try.
For everybody. We just didn't put them up this year, but we got all the stockings. We got Maisie, right? And who do we got? Naomi, right? And who else is here? We got Finnegan. All right, and then we got what's that other one? That girl. Oh yeah, here we go. She's got the best one of all. Look at this. Come on, Navy Joan. This thing's gonna be full of goodies. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Put on the brakes. No, that's the clutch. Put on the brakes. Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, bung-eyed heifers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, as they call this part of Vermont, to another version of It's News to Us.
And who are we and where are we?
Yeah, who are we? You are watching It's News to Us. We're Newport, Vermont's oldest TV news watch. It's new. Hill New Brown Cow, as the locals say. And here's Geezer Joe. That's right. It's an old Thorazine ad. Senile agitation. Yeah. They got a new one ad out now. It shows this woman and her daughter saying, "Oh yeah, Mom used to get angry and she'd start yelling and no reason." It's kind of like, yeah, we got a president that does that. Anyways, and speaking of which, here he is right here. All hail the cadaver in chief. And we're all inclusive here. We cater to men, women, and men, hamana. And we got some new websites for you. Excuse me. This is not upside down, right?
No.
I can barely see the monitor. Yeah, it's these are some good ones. But we've got to sweep it out during the next election. I mean, the only candidate, as much as I hate saying this, but it's true. The only candidate who is not in line with Klaus Schwab, the World Health Organization, the UN, the World Economic Forum is Trump, okay? Every one of the Democrats, even friggin', Bobby Kennedy might be compromised because they because of his stance on this green energy and stuff. Do your homework. But Trump is the only one.
He's going to have a hard time doing it from prison, though.
No, he ain't going to prison. You should have seen. You should have seen what happened in the court. Did you hear about that yesterday?
No,
I've been too sick.
I've been too sick.
Anyways, all right. Thanks. Let me get this out of the way first. I'm a deplorable. They had the Deutsche Bank people on the witness stand, right? And the prosecutor's going after him. They're like, well, isn't it kind of unusual for them to value properties differently? And Deutsche Bank's all like, no. As a matter of fact, it's like routine. It happens routinely. We have our appraisers, and they have theirs, and things change, and it's all worked out before we even grant the loan. I mean, this is a joke. And that thing where they're trying to keep him off the ballot, that's going to the Supreme Court in Colorado, because that's a joke too. It's like, what, are you kidding me? He's not Robert E. Lee. I mean, these people are older than me, but they're, they didn't friggin' fight for the Confederacy. Fools.
I don't even think they were a state yet, were they?
Yeah. Jeez. It's crazy. It's crazy. And why are they so scared of Trump? Why all of these? Why did they wait until right before the election for all these lawsuits, Philo?
I don't know. They had nothing else better to do.
Yeah, right. Sure they did. You got crimes off the chart in New York City.
That don't even start getting me on that.
Yeah.
By the way, I heard Weinberger isn't going to run again.
Oh, thank God for small favors.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Groucho Weinberger, he's the mayor over in Boylington, or Bumington as we call it. Oh, in the booth we have Philo T. Farnsworth, College of Musical Knowledge. You can see his drum videos on YouTube at Terry DeFazio. So let's see. Let's start with the news you're not gonna get on the news, right? Oh man, they had Peter Navarro on the War Room. That's warroom.org, Philo.
Yep.
And he was Trump's trade guy, and he's just incredible. He's got a friggin' PhD in economics and stuff from Harvard. The guy is friggin' awesome. He's the one where the FBI went after him. They were waited till he was boarding a flight. They were going to get him for contempt of Congress, right? And so instead of he lives within us, literally within a stone's throw of the FBI building. You think they could have walked over his house and arrested him or brought him into custody if they needed to, Philo?
No, they had to make a big production, right?
Oh, they had to wait till he was in an airport. And they not only put him in cuffs behind his back, but they put him in leg irons also. So anyways.
He must be a road runner.
Yeah, really. So anyways, he was on War Room, and he was talking about this Dr. Robert Kadick, and who was, I guess, conspired with Fauci to keep hiding the fact that this stuff came from the Wuhan lab in China.
Who hasn't he conspired with?
Huh?
Who hasn't Fauci conspired with?
Yeah, really. But I mean, this whole thing, he was saying if we had known, and it was probably a mistake to make Mike Pence the head of the task force, because he's as bad as Kamala Harris, only without the giggles, right? That bonehead.
I wouldn't insult Pence that bad. I mean, as bad as he is, I wouldn't insult him that bad.
Yeah, well,
he at least understands how government works. She doesn't.
Yeah, if Fauci had come clean. Now, Fauci knew that it came from the lab, according to his emails and his secret correspondences and stuff like that. He knew as early as December 2019 that it came from the Wuhan lab, and we were partially funding the Wuhan lab, right?
Yes, we were.
And then we could have had a jump on if we could have had the DNA sequence. If we got the DNA sequence from China right then and there in December, January of 2020, you know how many lives we could have saved?
Well, you know how many, how they could have dealt with this without locking down everybody?
Yeah, like Sweden.
Yeah,
Like Japan.
And all the other BS we had to go through, wearing masks, and you have to get a vaccine card and a passport.
Yeah.
No, really.
So Fauci just hid this stuff. Just, forgot to mention it in the meetings,
Well, RFK Jr.'s book spells this all out in detail.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of detail.
And now get this, because this idiot Biden has thrown wide open the borders. We've got, I don't know, probably somewhere around 20,000, they estimate, 20,000 to 80,000 Chinamen, military age, PLA members, they figure, who just waltzed in over the border, Philo.
Yeah, I wonder why the Chinese wanted to come here.
Yeah, and remember, we've gone over that lab they found in California?
Oh, yes.
Where they found mice with friggin' all kinds of crap in it.
SARS and MERS, maybe?
Yeah, the Ebola,
Yep.
the genetically modified mice.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
I thought that rat in my cellar looked awfully big.
Yeah.
I thought he was just taking steroids. I was wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was just a weightlifter. So anyways, it's just nuts. And, and for all these kids and this crap about climate change, okay, right? I'm watching the NASA channel the other day, and they have these drones and these other planes that they're flying around the North Pole, Philo.
Yep.
And they're doing experiments with the, what do you call it, the Aurora Borealis and the damn, the Aurora Borealis and the magnetic field, right?
Oh, okay.
Up at the North Pole.
Yep.
And do you know how much of our atmosphere leaves this planet every day, Philo?
I don't know.
Just gets shoved into space, lost in space, rather.
Yeah.
Around 200,000 tons of air every freaking day is lost into space.
Well, somebody better go find it.
Yeah.
Tell Joe that they got to go find this air and bring it back.
Yeah. Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah.
Danger.
Wasn't that a silly show?
Yeah. Stupid. That's why Lucille Ball came out with Star Trek, when she came out with Star Trek and insisted on it being scientifically more accurate. She did not want another Gunsmoke in her space, So anyways, yeah, 200,000 tons a day. But that's, we don't want climate change.
Well, these snowflakes have got to remember, we're not sitting here. We're flying through space around a giant black hole. What do you think is going to happen? We're going to have interactions with other things, like our ice age.
We're going
all
around
that
the
other
sun.
stuff, right?
Yeah, we're going around the sun at 17,000 miles an hour.
And the sun is going around Sagittarius A star and
Yeah.
taking all of our planets with it. What do you think's going to happen? Oh no, we're right here. God put us right here, and we're not going anywhere.
This NASA channel's the best thing since sliced bread, I'm telling you.
Oh
mister.
yeah. But my grandson works for them.
Yeah, God, they got a great job, that must be.
Yeah, he's actually a teacher.
They need help. They need help with their video. They really do. A lot of their stuff is like Wayne's World. It's like this show, I mean, only without the green screen.
Oh, okay.
They have a bunch of people sitting around a table talking. There's nothing that'll turn off younger people than a bunch of older astronauts sitting around a table talking. All right?
That'll do it.
If they were smart, they would at least run some stuff on the green screen, space stuff, right?
Yeah, well, they're all this stuff is available to them. I mean, after all, they're NASA.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's on YouTube. The YouTube stuff is fantastic.
Yeah.
If
the
YouTube
stuff-
can do it, NASA can do it.
The stuff that NASA's come up with over the, and I swear to God, we have 0 point energy. They're just hiding it. Anyways, and did you know that since the scamdemic, that BlackRock and through a company called Tricon Philo has bought up over 30,000 homes.
Oh yeah, and what's the other one? Vanguard?
Yeah. Part of their great reset, because you're not gonna, let's face it, you kids want to be duped into this climate change stuff and vote for people like Trump and stuff like that. I mean, for Trump, vote for Biden and these boneheads. Giving money to the Democrats isn't gonna help do anything.
Nope.
And the electric cars will sell when they finally have enough chargers up and going. Then then they'll sell, but they're not doing good now. The dealers are sending them back from the lots.
Well, here's a good one for you. My stepdaughter and her husband own one of these things. And guess what? They got a crack in their windshield. Guess where they have to go to get it fixed?
Oh no.
Montreal. And when they got there, they sent the wrong one.
Why?
Because nobody can repair the damn things. They're an entity unto themselves. You can't go to Windshield World and get a new one. You can't do that. They won't fit.
That's crazy.
No, I'm not joking, Steve. I'm telling you, this was like, I can't believe it. They've made a couple of trips to Montreal to get this thing fixed.
That's insane.
Yes, it is. I agree.
That's insane.
Like the car, but boy, what a pain in the neck to have to, maintain it.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
If you kids keep voting, don't vote for Trump, and if we get sucked into the Great Reset, like all these, that's why the Koch brothers came out, Americans for Prosperity, just came out and endorsed Nikki Haley against Trump in the primaries. It's because the Koch brothers are globalists, okay?
Of course.
And it's like, my God, and Nikki Haley, she's like John McCain with a skirt, She hasn't seen a war. She doesn't like. It's crazy, man.
One of the reasons they're doing that is because both parties realize they've got to change course. The Democrats are trying to finally realize they got to change course. They're trying to find somebody else besides Biden. I don't think they'll do it, but they're trying.
Well, Trump was screwed out of that last election because of the laptop, all kinds of stuff. There were all kinds of shenanigans and stuff. And speaking of which, 30 million Argentinians just voted in their election, Philo.
Argentina, huh?
Yeah, and guess what?
What's that?
Because they used paper ballots instead of another method, right?
Yeah.
They were able to have the election over and done within 24 hours with a winner. 30 million people, Philo.
Well, here's the thing, Steve. You have
ballots.
You have to realize something, Steve. The reason we don't use paper ballots is because no one knows how to count anymore. People don't know how to read or write in cursive. They don't know how to read a manual. They don't know how to use a stick shift, blah, 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 blah. And it's because they weren't taught.
Well, what happened during the last election is they came in, and because of this COVID thing, they said, oh, yeah, the signatures don't, the envelopes don't have to match the ballots. The signatures don't have to match. The voter lists, they don't scrub dead people off the voter list. All of this stuff, Philo, it all adds up, you know what I mean? And they're saying, oh, Trump lost by 40,000 votes. Oh, really? Really? And now look at the shuffling old moron we've gotten in the White House now.
Yep, I know.
It's ruining everything. We're on the verge of World War III.
Yep,
It's
I know.
Crazy.
We're lucky it wasn't Reagan, or that button would have been pushed already.
And he's sucking up to Hamas. Hey, look, You know, this idiot over here in Burlington shot 3 Palestinians, you know, some woodchuck. And you look at the guy, and of course, he looks, they said he was depressed lately, right, Philo?
No kidding.
Yeah, really.
Who isn't?
I wonder what kind of medications they had him on.
If any at all.
Yeah, well, you look at him, he's got that vacant stare, you know, the pharmaceutical stare, right? And he just walked out and shot these 3 kids. You know, what in the hell is wrong with him? He's this skinny-ass woodchuck over in Burlington. Don't be shooting anybody. I don't care who you are. And it's like, we don't do that here.
Defund the police. Defund the police.
Yeah.
That's working out real good, isn't it, Burlington?
Yeah, and it's just nuts. So now that put Burlington on the map.
Yay!
Yeah, it's like, look, you know, I've been kind of hard on the Israelis, and I've been hard on the Muslims and all kinds of organized religions over the years.
And you should be.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I lived with the Amish, okay, down in Pennsylvania, been near Allentown for a long time, and I had a great deal of respect for these people. You know, they lived the way they believed, Philo, and they didn't take the vaccines, and their kids seem to be doing a lot better than the regular kids.
Well, part of it's because they don't have to interact with a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, they do, though. They go to farmers markets, and they're at auctions and stuff. That's where I ran into a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. I was at this auction one time with my buddy Stanley, and he spoke German, right? And he says the guy behind you is commenting on your hair. I said, really? I said, what about it? He says he thinks it looks real pretty. And I said, so I turned around and I said, this guy? He said, yeah. I turned around and I says to this Amish guy, I says, hi, honey. I says, you want to go out for a cocktail tonight? Oh man, he turned about 8 shades of blue. He wasn't talking about me in German or English anymore after that. Yeah, the Great Reset. You want the Great Reset? Vote Democrat, man. And 72% of the jobs that Biden says he's created are jobs that are recovered. They're not new. Most of them are part-time. The cost of food has doubled. Mortgage rates have tripled. I mean, you know, let's face it. Klaus Schwab came out and said it. You will own nothing. You will rent. We are the ones with the ideas. We control everything.
Well, the millennials have pushed forth that because the millennials don't like collections of things and they don't want to own a home.
Some of them, most of them, I'm telling you, when all their kids start getting up in their late 20s and 30s and start having, all their buddies start having kids and stuff, Philo, and you know, start buying their own homes, then the millennials, they're near 40 now. Trust me, they want to, you know, most of them do want to own a home and have kids.
For a long time, though, they didn't want to do that. Here's another thing, too. A lot of the millennial men, they don't want to be put up with the BS that the women give them. They don't. That's why marriage rates and all that, relationships are not happening anymore. Anyways,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, and they're releasing more of the January 6th video. Notice they're not releasing all of the video. They're releasing most of the video, Philo.
Okay.
And I saw that some more of this, that John Sullivan, remember that black kid?
Yep.
Who was in there, and he all his stuff said Jaden X on it, right?
Yep.
And he was saying, let's tear this place up, and with a few choice words I can't say on TV. And they've released some more of his video. And it sounds like he's egging people on. He's talking with a CNN reporter that makes it sound like, you know, he knew this stuff was going to happen, that there was going to be agitators in the crowd, Philo.
And they didn't even invite us.
Yeah, really. And there's a great website, Due Process Denied. Did I write that one down? Yeah, it's in the
I think you did.
Yeah, just in case, we'll put this up again. Due Process Denied. And Gateway Pundit, too. Camera 2, Philo?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah.
Got it.
Due Process Denied. And Gateway Pundit. Thanks, Philo. Gateway Pundit has a lot of this January 6th video and stuff, too. And the PatriotFreedomProject.com, they've got the new footage. And, oh man, you want to talk about racism and the Democrats being the racist party, Philo?
Well, they like to play that card.
Well, they sure did. They sure did. Did you know that Woodrow Wilson, Philo? This was another, I think it was a four-way race. And this guy was enlightened. He was the former head of Princeton University, Philo.
Oh, Princeltown.
Yeah, Princeton. He, when he became president, right, he made an executive order or policy that anybody applying for a government job must send a photograph in along with their application or resume, Philo.
I know why they did that too, because they can't ask your race anymore.
Well, this was in 1916.
I know that one of my former therapists way back in the 90s was telling me that she got something, I don't even know what it was from, but anyways, they cannot ask you what your race is. So they just ask you for a photo.
And some of this stuff on the new video that came out on January 6th, you can see a couple of Capitol cops beating the living hell out of this woman named Victoria White.
Victoria's Secret?
Yeah. She was down on the ground and they had their clubs out and they were beating the living hell out of her in this hallway, along with this other woman. And oh man, speaking of Gateway Pundit, there's another guy down in Georgia who's been a thorn in their side, and he's been looking after Georgia's election anomalies, let's say, Philo.
Yep.
His name is Joe Rossi. You can search the web for it. There are 17,000 ballot images missing, Philo.
Oh, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And you want democracy, you got to pay for it.
He's requested them, and he's not giving up, man. He's like a friggin' pit bull. He's got his teeth clamped on their pant leg, and he ain't letting go. It's been a couple years now, and he's got 3 investigations going down there. Excuse me. Oh, speaking of which, as some of you watch the show, and thank you to all the new subscribers and viewers. I don't have a chance to go on the web and do all that stuff personally, or just thanks for watching, tuning in. But anyways,
address all hate mail to Philo T. Farnsworth.
Yeah,
because I'm the only one that looks at your Gmail.
Yeah, last week's show, I didn't want to come in because of this cold, and it's like, oh my God, there's this cold. It's been whacking people. Some people, not everybody. I don't get what it is, and I went into, and the worst thing you can do during cold and flu season, I don't care who you are. The worst thing you can do during cold and flu season is to go into a hospital for anything, because that's where all the sick people are going to be. Okay?
Yep, that's right.
And do you go in there, the chances of you getting sick are pretty damn high.
And I've been to Dartmouth twice in the past 2 weeks.
And pretty damn high, right? So I go down 2 weeks ago for this stupid procedure, and which I didn't need, by the way, of course, didn't need it. And I come out of the place, and Ray was smart enough to wait in the car. He said he walked in there to get a paper towel to pick up some dog crap, right? So nobody would step in it. He was out in the car. It was a beautiful day, right? So he said as soon as he walked in, he went by the waiting room to get a paper towel out of the bathroom, and these people were in the waiting room, and they were hacking. It sounded like the TB ward, tuberculosis. And then when they were wheeling me down to the procedure room, I went by 3 other rooms where there were people in there coughing and hacking their friggin' brains out. And I'm all like, oh my God, man, what have I got myself into?
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
yeah, so sure enough, man, next day later, it's like, oh my God, here we go. First it came with a sore throat, and I mean a real sore throat. I mean, you had a sore throat like Linda Lovelace had been eating sandpaper dildos.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah. It was a horrible sore throat. And then I call up my doctor, and he prescribes this, it's the Latin word for peace, okay? It begins with a P. It's like, and
Latin word is pox.
yeah. And so instead of giving me tests and having me take the damn tests to see if I've got COVID or not, oh no, just take this stuff. It's under emergency use authorization. It hasn't been FDA tested or approved. Now, mind you, I don't like the idea of being a guinea pig for anybody, okay? So it's like I take this stuff, and it's like within the first day, I'm all like, oh my God. I thought I was going to start hallucinating. And so the first day was bad. It's a set of antivirals. You take two of these one antivirals and one of the other one, and you take them one at bedtime and in the morning. And it's like, oh my God, I thought I was going to die. So then I took the second dose, and I took the third dose, and after the 4th dose, I said, that's it, man. That's it. After the 4th dose, I said, that's it. I'm not taking any more of this stuff. Because I talked to a buddy of mine, and this buddy told me that their mother, they thought their mother had a mild case of COVID, as did the kids. Now, mind you, I'm not sure if these people were vaccinated or not, but they had a mild case of COVID, and the doctor prescribed this to the mom, 80-year-old mom, and the medicine almost killed her, Philo. So I said, that's it. It's not just me, man. This stuff is nasty. So I stopped taking it. And then I just kept eating chicken soup and trying to force myself to eat. My appetite didn't come back until friggin' 5 days later, Philo. 6 days.
The Roman word for peace is PAX.
Yeah.
As in Pax, remember Pax Romana?
Yeah.
125 years of no war or whatever.
Yeah, or Pax Americana, like under Trump, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. Which did you hate worse about the Trump administration, the peace or the prosperity? It's just like Clinton. So anyways.
Yeah, Clinton actually even balanced the budget, too. Twice.
Yeah. With a little shoving from Newt Gingrich. Yeah, and also they've got new right-wing governments since they got rid of the machines, Philo. They've got right-wing governments in Holland and New Zealand. Can you believe that?
Well, they got sick of all the Jimmy grunts coming through.
Yeah, especially in Holland. In Holland too, man. Remember the Klaus Schwab and these New Worlders, these global resetters? They were trying to shut down the Dutch food production because they said it was the fertilizer was running off. There was too much runoff. And the Dutch, trust me, if anybody knows stuff about buffer zones and soil management, it's the damn Dutch. They've been farming since like forever.
Well, Klaus Schwab and his buddies, and by the way, he's in with Bill Gates too.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they're all the liberals over here, all the Democrats. Only Trump is the one who's not going to do it.
Well, RFK doesn't like them either. So,
Watch him. I don't trust him, Philo.
well, I don't really trust any politician, but if I want to change, it isn't going to be one of the other party anymore. I've had it with both parties.
Well, yeah.
Nothing for me.
I mean, look, Trump had to fight his own party too. I mean, he had to fight with Paul Ryan for what, 2 years?
Yep.
His first 2 years were spent fighting with a member of his own party, the Speaker of the House.
And now the Republicans can't even choose a Speaker of the House.
Well, we've got to do something about this budget. The budget's going out of control. If we don't, we're spending more on interest, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. The interest payment, it's nuts.
We're giving too much away to other countries, and we're giving too much away to Jimmy Grunts, and there's nothing for us.
They want $3 billion a month for the Ukrainians. So Ukrainians to get their pensions, to get free medical and dental. And, I mean, how many Americans get free medical and dental, right?
Your buddy, what's his name there, Tucker Carlson, had a show a long time ago, and he said, don't ask the Democrats to do this because they want to do this. They said, don't ask the Republicans. They want a reason to go get into a war in the Ukraine. And it happened.
Oh, yeah.
That happened like a year or two ago, didn't it?
Well, yeah, it started in Biden like an idiot. Instead of telling Putin what Trump did, Trump said, look, he told Putin, this was on a hotline, he called Putin on the hotline, and because you could see by the satellites that they were getting close to the borders, Philo.
Yep.
Now, mind you, the only thing Obama sent them was blankets. And Trump said, look, you like those onion domes in Moscow? He says, I got a missile. He says, I got missiles pointed at every friggin' onion dome. You go into the Ukraine, you're going to lose Moscow. And for some reason, Putin didn't invade until Biden comes in. And they asked Biden, what are you going to do if Putin goes into the Ukraine? And what does Biden say? Well, it all depends upon if it's a limited incursion or not. That is exactly the wrong thing to say. It's like with Iran, and they're giving the Iranians money, Philo.
Well, it was like they were doing Afghanistan. They were giving the tribal warlords money not to kill our guys.
Yeah, it's nuts. And Trump told them, look, Abdul, don't do it.
You go take your rock bar somewhere else.
Yeah, just, wait till we're gone, then you guys can play, but don't even think about it. But no, bite me, it's just crazy. It's like Obama said, Joe's effed up everything he ever touched.
Yep, he's doing better at it now, though.
Yeah, he's getting better and better at effing things up. Yeah, so Holland, New Zealand, Ireland. Ireland is having troubles. There was speech control, Philo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been after that Conor McGregor guy.
Oh, God, that fool.
Yeah.
He picks a fight with everybody and anybody.
Yeah, but he should be allowed to. I mean, that's the whole thing about the Western world. It should be free speech, period. And, the Ukraine. The great democracy in the Ukraine, Philo?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, how's that spring offensive going? Wait a minute. Was that last spring or this spring?
I think it was last spring.
Yeah, it was. It was last spring. And it didn't go anywhere because they're taking the money and they're buying friggin' Ferraris and Porsches and condos in Miami. It's nuts.
Well, they want to get out when the getting's good,
Oh, yeah. So what did they do? The great democracy that the Ukraine is, Philo? They canceled the March elections. Now, mind you, we had elections even during our Civil War, in the middle of our Civil War.
And Vietnam.
In Vietnam, Korea, World War II. Yeah, but the Ukraine cancels elections. He puts priests and nuns and stuff in jail. What a great guy, huh?
Oh, you can't say enough good about him.
Yeah, 10%ski, I call him. And now we're looking at more censorship that these guys did against Trump before the election, Philo.
Okay.
There was a thing in Britain. It's called the CTIL. It's the Center for, I don't know, something independent, something online. The CTIL, excuse me, had worked with our Department of Homeland Security to use these pre-COVID election sensors, Philo.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and whenever anything came up that was bad-mouthing Biden, they'd have algorithms to get rid of it, and when it was praising Trump or policies or whatever, they'd scrub those or put them way at the back. It's just crazy, and they're going to try it again. The rat bastards. I mean, it's bad enough with the DHS, the CISA, FBI, etc. It's just crazy. And do you see that TikTok video with that millennial girl going on and on about how after that she pays her mortgage and buys a few groceries and she can barely pay the electric bill and stuff like that, and her and her husband are making decent money, Philo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on where you live. Some places are very expensive to live.
Yeah, and Biden sucks. Here's a good one here. This is from Monday, last week. Yeah, right. Get this, camera 2. Jewish voters back Biden. Not anymore, they don't. What are you kidding me?
Oh, my goodness.
These people came in. Now, mind you, this is what, for those of you who know a real American history, can you hear me in there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. For those of you who know real American history, this is what the Indians used to do on the frontier. It's what they did in 1703 in Deerfield, Massachusetts. They swooped down in the middle of the night. If somebody was, if your sentry wasn't awake or whatever, they whooped their way in, and they killed women and children indiscriminately. Okay, that's what they did. That was like friggin' Indian warfare. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And they delighted in torture too. And don't tell me they don't. These weren't the Sioux, out on Plains Indians and stuff like that. The friggin' Mohawk, we get along pretty good with the Mohawk and the tribes in New York State. They were okay. But the ones up here in Canada, oh man, you want to talk about atrocities and stuff like that, killing women and children, and look at this. This is from today's paper, Wednesday, November 29th. U.S. military to begin aid flights for Gaza. So, and get this, they're called the massacre, terror, and butchery is now being called an assault, Philo. Oh, it's just an assault, The Palestinians, they were mad about having to live in the Gaza Strip and
well, look at what newspaper you've got there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, really. The
What a rag.
ultra-lib. But I mean, that was one thing. This is crazy. Listen to this. The military is going to facilitate the first of 3 relief flights into Egypt, get food, water, medicine, and winter items to Gaza as Biden expands humanitarian efforts during a temporary ceasefire. The United Nations then will take the goods that arrive in Egypt to civilians in need. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. They don't have a very good track record. So get this, it gets even better, man. This is crazy. Biden announced $100 million in humanitarian aid for Gaza last month after Israel declared war. So he's giving money to the Iranians who sponsor these radical wackos, man, who they got a Woody for the Jews. I should have brought the Quran in again and read it on TV. I'm gonna go through it again. I swear to God, by next week I'll bring the Quran in. Biden announced $100 million last month after Israel declared, following the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. They didn't attack, armies or tanks or anything. No, they went after civilians. And they killed little kids, man. Little kids, old people, 11 hostages were released. Almost 70 women, children, and child hostages as young as 3 have been released during a truce.
And how many Americans have been released?
They don't say.
None.
Really.
None have been released.
That's crazy.
It's been old people and little kids and Jewish people. That's been it.
Or Israeli citizens, you mean?
Yeah. Israeli citizens, but not Americans. Oh no. That's their bargaining chip.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'd give them a bargaining chip.
Oh yeah, man. We should flatten Iran. That's all there is to it. You flatten Iran. If they start acting up in Lebanon, flatten freaking Beirut again.
Well, we asked for Iran and we got it, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, remember Obama was dropping them pallets of cash when he was president?
Yep.
Billions.
We overthrew
billions.
Mossadegh and look what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, the CIA really stonewalled poor Ike. Ike was buffaloed by them pretty bad.
Let's see. Israeli National Security Minister Ben-Gvir called on Prime Minister Netanyahu. His real name is Benny Horowitz. He's from Philadelphia.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, but Netanyahu sounds better.
Oh yeah, it does.
Hamas has now tried to murder Israeli soldiers in northern Gaza. We must not wait till our fighters are killed. We've got to once again act in accordance with the goal of the war, the total destruction of Hamas. Okay, Netanyahu has repeatedly said that Israel will eventually restart in an effort to crush Hamas after the October 7th attack. It's just an attack, Vilo.
Kind of like a heart attack.
Yeah.
It can only kill you.
Yeah, sure.
You might die, or even worse.
That killed 1,200 Israelis. The Gaza Health Ministry says the Israeli assault has killed more than 13,000 Palestinians. Let's see. A 10-month-old was abducted from his home in southern Israeli kibbutz when Palestinian militants snatched about 240 people and dragged them into Gaza. Yeah, it doesn't say. Remember, we showed you the footage of the rape of that woman they dragged out of the back of the Jeep.
Oh yeah, I wonder if they got her back yet or not.
Oh, I doubt it. I think they killed her. The 10-month-old Kafir, the youngest captive, was among 30 children who were taken hostage in Hamas assault. Now, mind you, this is another thing. Under all the rules of war, and Israel abides by this, and as all other countries do, okay, have to let the Red Cross or the Red Crescent come in and see how many prisoners they have and see how they're being taken care of, okay? And they can be fooled, mind you, because before World War II, the Nazis, the Germans, they were using Red Cross trucks to bring in the gas that was killing the damn Jews in the concentration camps. I was a bit of that irony. I got a great book written by a Hungarian doctor who survived Auschwitz. It's crazy. But not here. How come where's the Red Cross or the Red Crescent? How come they haven't gone down and looked at the hostages and find out if they're being taken care of? You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah. This is insane. Oh man.
Don't get him started, folks. You get him started, he'll get going there.
There's no precedent for something like this when a baby was kidnapped when he was 9 months old. Is the baby Kafir the enemy of Hamas? Yet we've got all these kids demonstrating on behalf of these Muslim wackos.
I liked what Biden said. The majority of Palestinians are not associated with Hamas. Bull crap.
Yeah, well, you wonder. I mean, unless there's some way for you to get out. There was a story in the Epoch Times last week. God, I doubt I have it with me. Damn it. Epoch Times, it's online. It's about this kid. He grew up in Gaza, and he became an Israeli citizen. He managed to get out, Philo, because you are outnumbered. I mean, even if you wanted to be different, you're outnumbered. Here we are, on this day in history, 1947. The UN General Assembly passed a resolution calling for the partition of Palestine between Arabs and Jews. 33. That's where they're all listening to the radio. If you ever watched that movie Exodus,
Yeah.
and they show them with the chalkboard, and they're going through country by country. At the whole Paul Newman movie, it's great. 33 members, including the U.S., voted in favor of the resolution. 13 voted against, while 10 abstained. The plan, rejected by the Arabs, was never implemented. Oh. And on this day in history, LBJ named a commission headed by Earl Warren to investigate the assassination of JFK. Yeah, we all knew what happened there, don't we?
Yes, and don't tell me he didn't have something to do with it.
Yeah, like the three monkeys: hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
Oh, they just had a good documentary about that on one of the channels I watch. I think it was News Nation did a special on it.
Yeah, well, they're on the Smithsonian channel and some other ones. They're still coming out with the old line that Oswald was the single, but he was the lone gunman. He was.
Oh, sure. Tell me another one.
Yeah. In 2001, former Beatle George Harrison died. He was 58. Oh, sure. And on this day in 2012, the UN voted overwhelmingly to recognize a Palestinian state, a vote that came exactly 65 years after they adopted a plan to divide Palestine into separate states for Jews and Arabs. The vote was 138 in favor, 9 against, 41 abstained. Okay, sure. Yeah, longer ceasefire sought for Gaza. I don't know. I'm torn. These people, they're crazy. They're crazy to start a kibbutz that close to Gaza. You know what I mean, Philo?
Yep.
They should have had minefields separating them. They're crazy. You couldn't get me to do it, but hey, they did it. And another thing too is this is what happened when they wouldn't give them guns. The Israeli government, the last liberal government, wouldn't give them guns. No pistol permits or rifle permits, and look what happened, man. They could barely defend themselves.
Okay, Steve, last but not least.
Last but not least, yeah, Americans among the hostages freed. And it turns out, Philo, that big explosion they said that killed people at the hospital in Gaza, Philo?
Yep.
Well, it turns out that after a thorough investigation, 471 killed through Human Rights Watch said it was the explosion was from a rocket-propelled bomb used by the militants that went off accidentally in the parking lot of the hospital.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, sure. Good going, Palestinians, Gazans, whatever.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah, Allahu Akbar is right. Once again, we wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So until next week, we'll see you again next week. Inshallah, good Lord willing, as the Hebrews say. Until then, get down on your hands and knees, worship the rock, Rebecca, walk around the rock, and get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque, snip the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar, Akbar.
They're really cool. What's your name?
I love those ears.
Oh, what a beautiful name. That's my mommy's name. Well, nice to see. How old are you, 17? 6. Oh, my God! And by the way, I like kids better than people. I wish I could stay and watch Wonka with you, but I'm not going to get to do that.
Well, this past week, as Americans gathered around their own kitchen tables for Thanksgiving dinner, that was our goal, to give them a little more breathing room. And together we made progress. From turkey to air travel to tank of gas, costs went down.
Sure they did.
All right, let's break it down according to
the economy is improving, and President Biden says the economy is improving, that a majority of Americans outside of this building are not buying it.
So here's the thing. When we walked into this administration,
tell us,
the economy was on a tailspin.
Really?
That's the fact. Because of the last administration, because of the Trump administration, because of how they dealt with COVID and the pandemic, because they didn't have a comprehensive plan.
Really?
Okay, it was also during the middle of COVID, but let's add one other point. Donald Trump didn't add $2 trillion more last year alone to the debt that we're putting on our kids and grandkids.
You could say even this harder than getting a ticket to the Renaissance tour or Britney's tour. She's down in, it's kind of warm in Brazil right now. Leading tech companies like Anthropic.
What?
And I'm going to mispronounce. I'm not going to try.
Stockings for everybody. We just didn't put them up this year, but we got all the stockings. We got Maisie, right? And who do we got? Naomi, right? And who else is here? We got Finnegan. All right, and then we got what's that other one? That girl. Oh yeah, here we go. She's got the best one of all. Look at this. Come on, Navy Joan. This thing's gonna be full of goodies. Merry Christmas, everybody.
It wasn't your day yesterday, but it's an old day now.